Okay, so here we have a list of instruments that meteorologists and everyday people like us use to measure the weather. So I have 5 things here. There's 5 things here. The first one is called an anemometer. Say that with me. Anemometer. It's this thing like this, and it has cups on it that are sideways, and it helps to measure the speed of the wind.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, it has to have something electrical in it, because then it sends something through the electricity that tells you what the speed. It gives you how many miles per hour. So not many people have those at their house, but they're used to measure. They measure the speed of wind. Now you might have a wind vane, like the one we saw the other day. Like you might have a chicken or something has in a north, east, south, west, and that might spin, and it tells you what direction the wind is going. But an anemometer has these special little cups on them that catch the wind, and then it sends some information down the pole with electricity, and it tells the computer how fast the wind is going, like miles per hour. Is it going, or knots? Sometimes they measure it in knots. So that measures the speed of the wind. Now a barometer, say that word. That is not something most people have in their house either, but it measures pressure in the air. Pressure in the air. So these tools are 2 tools usually that meteorologists will use. They're more for meteorologists. They measure pressure in the air. Now the next 3 are what we are going to use to measure temperature, or to measure weather, sorry. One of them is to measure temperature. We're going to use the next 3 to measure the weather every day. So everyone gets a chance to be a meteorologist. I told Grant he gets to be a meteorologist every day at his house. I sent him a thermometer, and his grandpa brought him a rain gauge, and I'm going to tell him how to use a windsock here in a minute. You can just use a sock or a windsock if you wanted to. It's not as light, though. That's the only thing. Okay, so rain gauge measures precipitation. Remember that big word from yesterday? Measures precipitation. Precipitation means, precipitation. What are some examples of precipitation? Does anyone remember? What's one, Emma? You forgot? Chase. There's 4 kinds of precipitation we talked about. Isaiah, what's one? Nope. Gracie. Precipitation falls from the sky. Rain is one. Hail is one.
Ice crystals. Snow.
Snow is one. Rain, snow, hail, and this is ice, but it's not quite hail, and it's not quite snow. Heather? You forgot?
Snowflakes.
Nope. Sleet. Rain, snow, hail, and sleet are 4 ways that are precipitation. But anything that falls from the sky that's water-based is precipitation. So rain gauge measures precipitation. And it usually measures in centimeters and inches. So you might say we got 2 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain. Or a quarter. Remember, quarter is a 1/4 of an inch of rain. Yes, Isaiah.
Frogs can fall from the sky.
Well, maybe.
Lizards.
All right. What does a thermometer measure?
I read it from a real.
Chase?
How cold is your house?
How hot or cold it is, but what is a word for how hot or cold something is? There's one of our vocabulary words. Cooper. Temperature. So a thermometer measures temperature, how hot or cold something is. That's the word for how hot or cold it is. We got to use these big words. I'll scoot in a little bit. Okay, then the last one is a windsock. Now, the wind is in the word, so we know it measures the wind, but it can't tell me how fast it's going, but it measures the direction and strength. Strength is how strong it is, strong or weak, and strength of wind. It can't tell me how fast it's going. We could go say it's going light or it's going heavy, but it tells me the strength. Is it a real strong wind? Is my windsock going crazy? Is it going? Is it just barely moving? Then the strength is just really light, right? And if this windsock's not moving at all, then there's no wind. So whenever we measure wind with the windsock, we're going to use a windsock to tell us if there is any wind, what direction it's going, north, east, south, or west. And if it's a light wind, no wind, or strong wind, or gusty wind. Gusty winds would mean it would go up and come down, and then it might just move a little bit, and then a little bit later go high again. Gusty winds are just all of a sudden there's a strong wind, and then there's no wind, and then a strong wind. That's called gusty. Now I'm going to talk to Grant for a little bit. Grant, at home, we have a windsock here, but at home there's different ways. You can tie a Walmart bag or any kind of grocery bag to a stick, or just hold it up, and that can tell you which direction the wind is going in and how strong it is. You can try a sock, but a sock kind of is heavy, so it doesn't get the wind as much. So I would say a grocery sack, or something I've done before is I rolled a piece of paper and made a cylinder out of a piece of paper like this. I know some of you are writing, just a second. And staple it or tape it along it so it makes a cylinder, and then put 2 holes at the top with some string, and you hold the string and the wind will move your cylinder. And it'll tell you what direction. You guys can do that at home too if you want. I've even put streamers hanging out the bottom of the cylinder, and it would just kind of move like this and make a windsock. So Grant, you can make a windsock out of paper like that, or you can get a grocery bag and see which direction the wind's going, and you can say if it's a light wind, a strong wind, and tell me if it's going north, south, east, or west. Okay, so those are our 5 types of measuring tools that we use for weather, and these are the 3 we're going to measure on our piece of paper. So I want you to keep open your journals, because I'm going to grade that you just did. So make sure you got it all filled in. Just leave it open, and Grant, if you'll take a picture of it and send it to me on Seesaw so I can grade yours. Okay, so leave that out. This is what we're going to do now. We're going to do our first day of the weather journal. So you're going to get your weather journal. We might have to do 3 people. Let's see. I have to do 3 people someday. We'll start 2, and if we do have to do an extra day, we can maybe do that. Okay, we might have to sometimes do 3. So you're going to put your name at the top. Here's my name. And then you're going to put the date for today's date. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And that's all you can fill out right now. And then our 2 meteorologists, which today are Gracie and Cooper, are going to go out with me, and we're going to look at their thermometer and write down the number for the temperature. Remember, we do Fahrenheit. And then we're going to do the clouds. We're going to describe the clouds. There's 4 ways to describe the clouds. Please stop. Cumulus, cumulonimbus, cirrus, and stratus. So cumulus are just the white fluffy clouds, remember, on a sunny day. Cumulonimbus are the big, tall storm clouds. Cirrus are the ones that look like feathers on a sunny day. And then stratus are the gray clouds. So what do y'all think today? Yeah, stratus. They cover the whole thing. So we're going to say it's cloudy And we're going to put stratus clouds. And remember, stratus clouds mean gray. Today it's cloudy. There might be no clouds some days that we're doing this. Might just be sunny. We write sunny there. No clouds, sunny. Okay, then precipitation. We're going to go look at the rain gauge and decide how much rain we've had. And then we're going to go use our wind sock and see what the wind is like. Okay, so Grant, I'm just going to show you how we did this first day, and every other day you can do without having to watch us do it. You can do what you get. But today we got 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're always going to write the degree and Fahrenheit, and we'll always remember one side of the thermometer is C, Celsius, and one side is F, Fahrenheit. And in the United States, we do which one? Fahrenheit. So we're looking at the number on the F side. And they looked at it. There was 40, and then there was a 50 and a 60, and this was 46. We counted the little marks. Okay, then we said it was cloudy with stratus cards. And then what did we say, Gracie, was the precipitation? Yeah, there was nothing showing in our rain gauge because it's barely rained today, right? Just kind of drizzled. So we couldn't give it a number because it was just some drops in there. It wasn't like showing any inches or quarter inches. So we just said it was a light rain. That's all we can really say. We can't say how many inches it is because there's nothing there. Maybe if it rains some more overnight, tomorrow when we'll look, we'll be able to see some in our rain gauge. And then the wind, since Cooper's not here either, Gracie, you can tell me what you wrote for wind. Yes, it was just a light wind, and it was going toward the east. The windsock was pointing toward the east. So there's our weather report for today. So on 1/20/21 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was 46 degrees Fahrenheit, cloudy with stratus clouds, a light rain, and the wind was light and it was going to the east. So every day we'll have 2 to 3 friends go out there. 2 or 3, because we may have to do 3 on a couple days when we get to the end. Just depends.